I'm Brock Jamieson, and I'm accompanied by my co host, Nick Poland. Welcome to the inaugural episode of the More Than a Game podcast. It's our mission to demonstrate how football is more than a game. Beyond the X's and O's, we plan to discuss how the game of football has an effect on our everyday lives. Our goal is to film on Tuesdays and release a weekly episode every Wednesday. Nick and I have built a friendship with our common love for football, and we want to share our ideas with the rest of the multimedia universe. All right, segment one of the More Than a Game podcast is kickoff. Okay, just like any game starts with a kickoff, our podcast starts with a kickoff, and from there, we will share our rundown for the episode and what you can expect from listening to it. My name is Brock Jamieson, and I am I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I was born and raised in Kansas. That's where I get my fandom of the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm beloved member of Chiefs Kingdom, and a proud member of Chiefs Kingdom. And um, Nick and I are just really big NFL fans, and we talk every week about our love of the game, and we just want to share this with a greater audience. We want to share all these great ideas we have with a larger audience. So now I kick it off to my co-host Nick Poland.
How's it going? Yeah, it's like you just said. My name is Nick Poland. I was born and raised in Wichita, Kansas, so just a couple hours from Kansas City. I obviously the Chiefs, they're the local team. You could say. I just I've always loved them. I first fell in love with the game back when Trent Green was on the team with Tony Gonzalez. I mean, that's when it all started. And then when Jamal Charles came on the team, I mean, it's just my favorite football player of all time, without a doubt, number 25. That's when I started to become obsessed. And yeah, my love for the game, even outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, it's just huge. And that's why I'm here, is to show you guys just how much I love it and kind of give you guys some knowledge as well. But yeah, I am.
So Nick and I met. The way we met was through a summer youth catechesis program. Um, and it was a church catechesis program, a Catholic catechesis program. And we spent an entire summer together, the summer of 2018, and we've kept in touch ever since. And the Chiefs definitely give us something to talk about. That's how we mainly keep in touch, is by staying up to date with our favorite team, the Chiefs. And you don't have to hate us this year, guys. We're off to a 2-3 start. We're not getting the lucky breaks in those games, so don't worry. We're not just gonna run Chiefs Kingdom down your throats. Okay, we're here to talk about the league as a whole and a little bit of college football as well. So segment one is kickoff. Segment two is the review booth, where we'll pick 3 games from the past week, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly about those games. Segment three, titled Between the Hashes, is our main segment. This week, we're talking about overtime in the main segment and all the controversies around the current overtime rules, whether or not it's fair for a game to end in a tie. Segment four is just a simple Saturday showdown, a Saturday review of all the games in college. We'll pick 4 games that happened from the previous week, review the college football playoff rankings, and then finally we'll pick 4 games from the week ahead, just to show what you can look forward to as a college football viewer. Segment 5 is your best bets. Okay, it's not a sports podcast without some sports betting. So Nick and I, each week in the NFL, will pick one spread that we like. We're going to pick one total that we like, and we're going to pick a player prop that we like. Okay. Just keep it short and simple. Just what we're thinking as far as the sports book. We're going to use FanDuel Sportsbook as our point of reference. Segment 6 is called the Scouting Report. We're going to choose 7 games from the upcoming Sunday in the NFL and give our opinions on how we expect them to go, provide a little final score, just what we're expecting in the big headlines leading into each game on Sunday. Segment 7 is our chief concerns. Like we shared, we have a common love for the Kansas City Chiefs, So we want to spend one segment talking about the Chiefs, not the entire segment, but for those who are interested in our chief concerns, that's the name of this segment. So we'll share the good, the bad, and the ugly about Chiefs Kingdom. And our final segment is the more than a game segment. And that's when we choose one topic and we demonstrate how the game of football is truly more than a game and how it has an effect on the everyday lives of not just ourselves, but the people around us, and how people's lives are shaped by the game of football and changed by the game of football. All right, segment 2, the review booth. It was a crazy week in the NFL. All weeks are crazy. Um, this week, there were 6 double-digit comeback victories. There are no more unbeaten teams. The last 2 unbeaten teams were defeated this past Sunday. 2 teams earned their first victory. And in the AFC, there are 9 teams under 500. There's plenty of games to go, but after 5 games, to think that 9 teams are under 500, it was something worth mentioning. The first game we're going to review is the Thursday night football game, the Rams against the 49ers. So the Rams had 456 yards, while the 49ers had 407 yards. And as for passing yards, Matthew Stafford had 389 passing yards, while Mac Jones only had 342. As for the turnover battle, the Los Angeles Rams had 2 turnovers, while the San Francisco 49ers had 0. While the Rams won 2 of these 3 categories, it was the San Francisco 49ers who were able to prevail in a winning effort in a final score of 26-23. Important to note, the Los Angeles Rams came back from 14 down to force overtime. It was 17-7 at half after a 37-yard field goal from Eddie Pinheiro. The 49ers jumped out to a 14-0 lead. A touchdown reception from Jake Tongas and a touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey gave them this 14-0 lead. In the third quarter, San Francisco kicks another field goal. It was 17-7 at halftime. San Francisco kicks another field goal to go up 20-7, and that's when the Rams start this comeback. Puka Nacua catches a touchdown pass from Matthew Stafford at the end of the third quarter, and at the start of the fourth quarter, Kieran Williams catches an 8-yard pass from Matthew Stafford, but crazy enough, that extra point is blocked, which made all the difference in the game. Eddie Pinheiro kicked a 59-yard field goal with 5 minutes remaining to give the 49ers a lead 23-20. And then the Rams got the ball with approximately 4 minutes remaining in the game. Yeah, the Rams got the ball with 2 minutes 52 seconds left in the game. They drive down the field and they have the ball at San Francisco's 11. And then what happens is Kieran Williams fumbles on first and goal from San Francisco's 3-yard line. And the 49ers recover. They're sitting at their own 1-yard line. Okay, so the 49ers recover with 1 minute and 7 seconds left in the game. But the Rams had all 3 timeouts. So, as you can imagine, the 49ers are at their own 1-yard line. They're not going to try and pass. Incomplete passes stop the clock. So they run 3 times. They gain little to no yards. They only gain 2 yards. The Rams are able to use all their timeouts. The Rams get the ball back with 42 seconds remaining. They've got 42 seconds and 0 timeouts to try and get into field goal range. They take 7 plays and they drive 20 yards. And Cardi, the Rams kicker, is able to kick a 48-yard field goal as time expires to send the game into overtime. So we head into overtime, and the 49ers win the toss, and they obviously choose to kick because they want the ball second. Well, actually, the Rams won the toss, and they chose to kick. Correct, Nick?
That's
The Rams
correct,
won the
yes.
toss. Okay,
That's what
okay.
happened, yeah.
The Rams won the toss, okay, and the Rams chose to kick to the 49ers. And obviously, an exhausted defense, all you want is just to make sure you can give up a field goal. Okay? And the Rams were able to do that. The 49ers under Mac Jones only drove 37 yards and they kicked a field goal. And so next, the Rams get the ball with 5 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the game. And it's interesting because the Rams have two choices with 5 minutes, 51 seconds. They can either kick a field goal and tie the game, or they can score a touchdown to win it. Now, the Rams having the second drive obviously have an advantage. Nick, what is that advantage that the Rams have?
So it really means a lot, and for many reasons in today's NFL. It's quite as obvious as, well, which we're going to get into this later on our main topic as well, but it's pretty much as simple as, hey, match what the other team just did or do better. It's as simple as that. If you go first, there is basically no pros to it at all, which again, we're about to get back to that anyways on our main topic, but yeah, dumb decision. It's just dumb.
So the Rams have the advantage of having 4 downs the entire
Yeah,
drive.
four
And the
downs, yeah.
Rams had to make the decision. You can either kick a field goal to tie it, or you can score a touchdown to win the game. And, with much respect to the Rams, they chose to try and score a touchdown to win the game. And they had a 4th and 1 at San Francisco's 11-yard line, 26-23. Keep in mind, they had a 4th and 1 at San Francisco's 11. They could have easily kicked a field goal to tie it, but they chose to go for it because they knew if they gave San Francisco the ball back, they weren't going to get the ball back. San Francisco was probably going to kick a field goal to win the game. They still had 3 minutes 40 seconds remaining in overtime. So they knew that if they kicked a field goal, San Francisco was going to get it back, probably kick one to win the game. So kudos to the Rams. They had the guts to go for it. Unfortunately, the Kieran Williams ran to San Francisco's 11, and he had no gain. He was stopped. The ball was fumbled, but the fumble didn't happen after the Kieran Williams was stopped. There was a fumble, but like I said, it didn't happen until after he was stopped. And so the 49ers, not quite a walk-off home run, but the 49ers finished the game by stopping the Rams with a turnover on downs. So it should be shared. The Rams obviously were rushed by the overtime, and the lack of time, that 10 minutes had an effect on their playmaking and their decision making on their drive. They had no choice but to obviously score that touchdown to win the game because they knew if all they did was kick a field goal, they knew that San Francisco was probably going to do the same thing. So, um, once again, kudos to the Rams, but they 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 made a decision to win it, and they weren't able to execute what they needed to win it, and therefore they lost it, which is what should happen, right? There shouldn't be a tie. So um, I have no issues with how this game ended. It was provided a very interesting perspective moving forward that team that gets the ball second, the team who gets the ball second, that team has no choice but to score a touchdown to win the game. Unless you held them to 0 points. If you held them to if they kicked a field goal on you, when you get the ball second, you ultimately have no choice but to score a touchdown and win it. So um, that's my take from this game. Nick, do you have anything else that you'd like to bring to the forefront?
Yeah, there's one thing we all gotta bring up, and it's Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. The controversy here. It's like, okay, Brock Purdy's hurt, and he's got all this money, right? Well, he's played one game this year, and he's 0-1. Mac Jones, on the other hand, he's playing really, really good. I'll say myself, I've always been a Mac Jones believer. He didn't fit well in New England's system. He's playing really good right now. And if he keeps winning games, if he goes like 10-2 or so, Brock Purdy's not coming back. You can take Dak Prescott and Tony Romo, for example. I know Tony Romo was towards the end of his career, and he wasn't the richest, one of the top paid players in the NFL, but still, if a guy is winning, you keep him in, and it's something everybody's got to talk about.
Absolutely. What I would look to see is that if the 49ers keep winning, it might be no surprise that Brock Purdy's turf toe injury gets strung out, right? He might just be more injured. He might be taking his sweet time to come back if Mac Jones keeps having the success that he is having. Um, the team has performed better with Mac Jones under center. Their one loss this season is with Brock Purdy under center. Are they 3-1? Are they 3-1 with Mac Jones, or is it just 2-1 with Mac Jones? Did
They
I know
are.
Brock Purdy played that Week 4 game? Did he play any other games? Okay, so then that would make them 3-1 with Mac Jones under center, or sorry, that makes them 4-0 with Mac Jones under center and 0-1 with Brock Purdy.
That is correct. Yep. So yeah, Brock Purdy actually. Well, it says Mac Jones currently has a 3-0 record as a starter this year. So I'm not sure where that second game.
I'm sure Brock Purdy started.
I'm sure he did, but
Okay, so it was 3-0 with Mac Jones, 1-1 with Brock Purdy. So, as of right now, Mac Jones has had a better campaign for the 2025 season, but hey, Brock Purdy's getting paid $53 million a year, so um, they're probably going to put him back in whenever he's ready.
yeah,
But it's
I
an
agree.
interesting thing to watch. It's a very interesting story going on in San Francisco right now. All right, next up, we have the Denver Broncos defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 21-17. Nick?
Yeah, so I watched this game, and I can tell you guys right now the Philadelphia Eagles defense played 3 great quarters of football. In the first 3 quarters of this football game, all they allowed was a 55-yard field goal in the first quarter, and that's it. They played great. The offense didn't really do too much. Second quarter, though, that's when they did all their scoring. Um, they started driving down the field. I know Jalen Hurts hit Devontae Smith pretty deep, and he was one of their only threats this game, as far as Denver's. And yeah, he then went 2 yards from the end zone. He rolled to his right, hit Dallas Goedert in the end zone. And just a couple plays later, next possession, he throws a fade to Saquon Barkley, and he just runs right in. And it looks like, 17-3, Philadelphia. They're going to win this thing. But nope, fourth quarter, here comes Denver. And out of nowhere, they just start controlling the time of possession in this game. They actually had almost 10 extra minutes, 34 compared to Philadelphia's 25, and they just started scoring. It was Dobbins got in with 13 minutes left, and then a few plays later, Bo Nix throws to Evan Ingram, and you think they're about to tie the game, but nope, hold on. They're going for 2. Good call by Sean Payton. I don't always agree with going for 2 because there was still 7 minutes of playtime. Sometimes you could be a little too cocky. But
Well,
hey,
Sean Payton had faith. He had faith in his defense. He trusted that if I didn't get this, my defense was going to make them punt and I would get the ball back to win the game. So, that's good coaching, and Denver is one of the best defenses in the league. He had faith. He had faith that they were going to get the ball back to him. But either way, it didn't even matter because it paid off in the end. It was double or nothing, and they went for 2 and they got it.
for sure. And yeah, they knew who they were playing against, so they went ahead and did it. And Bo Nix hit nobody else, and his buddy from Oregon, Troy Franklin, and yeah, they played in college together. It was a great play. And that's when it all went down. Then later on, they got the football back. They kicked a 36-yard field goal with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining. And Jalen Hurts, he just couldn't get there in time. Too much pressure. He got sacked 6 times in this game, which props to Denver, man. And they held Philadelphia to 45 rushing yards. When you have Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts on your team, I mean, that's bragging rights right there. It really is. I've never been the biggest Denver believer, but yeah, they kind of put the NFL on notice, and myself. It's
Yep, our
good
divisional
win.
rivals. showing us how difficult this is going to be this year. Um, more impressive victory than the Chiefs have this season. So yeah, that's something we got to watch out for.
It sure is.
Important individual performances. Nick Bonito had 2.5 sacks. Let's see if this guy can get Defensive Player of the Year. Um, and Saquon Barkley has yet to eclipse 100 yards rushing this season. Devontae Smith had 114 receiving yards. And you said there was that one final play at the end where there was a very controversial no call. There was what appeared to be pass interference.
Yeah, there was on a Devontae Smith actually, and it's it goes either way. Look, we've seen as a Chiefs fan, we know how it goes. Calls go our way, the nation just freaks out. Calls don't go our way,
The
then
nation
we
freaks
start.
out.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
nation
exactly.
still freaks out.
Exactly. And it sucks. I think it was pass interference all day, but it's a team sport. You play 60 minutes of football. One no call doesn't determine a football game. It doesn't. So it is what it is. Good game by Denver. Like I said, they held their ground, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I would like to think that pass interference, if it would be called, Philadelphia would have had one more snap from the 3 yard line. I'm not saying they would have scored, but they would have had a much higher chance to score from the three compared to wherever they were.
That is
I, it,
true.
it was
And
it was like the 34.
I will say this a lot of the times, and a lot of former players, such as Mitchell Schwartz, has said this himself. A Hail Mary type play, a lot of the times they kind of let you get away with a few extra things. It's kind of like a free play, pass interference, unless you're absolutely bear hugging the dude. It's,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
it's,
pass was to Dallas Goddard, where the pass interference should have been called. It was to Dallas Goddard, but either way, it's from the 29-yard line. And that next snap was from the 29, the last snap of the game. They just would have had a better chance to score from the 3 yard line. It would have provided for a much crazier ending. But hey, that the game goes down as a victory for Denver, and it's a loss for Philadelphia. So we move on to our next game, but Philadelphia shows some weakness. Their offense is really struggling to produce. They've been outgained in all 5 games this year. The opponent has outgained them in yards. They're still winning, beating them on the margins. But there is a cause for concern. Philadelphia's offense. We'll see if they'll be able to get the ball rolling, no pun intended. And um, their defense can only play so well for so long. The offense has to help you out, give you time to breathe. Over the course of the season, this will wear on their defense. So we'll see if the offense is able to whip it up back into shape and give them that performance they need. Next game, we have Sunday Night Football. Patriots 23, Bills 20. Down goes the last undefeated team. The 72 Dolphins are popping champagne, celebrating the fact that they're the last team to go undefeated in a season. Is this the start of a new era in New England
looks like
under the
it.
Mike Vrabel? The Vrabel May dynasty. Is this the Vrabel May regime? Okay. Has Drake May joined the AFC quarterback party? We have an ice cold performance from the Buffalo Bills in their cold rush rivalry uniforms. And finally, Stephon Diggs shows Buffalo that he's still got it. Of all the players you're going to let defeat you, Buffalo Bills chose to let Stephon Diggs defeat them. I know Buffalo had more yards than New England. Buffalo had 363, while New England only had 338. But Buffalo had 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and 1 interception. One fumble by Josh Allen and an interception by Josh Allen. So Josh Allen's got to be kicking himself by forcing those 2 turnovers, which those 3 total turnovers by Buffalo made all the difference in this game. Buffalo won the box score, but they were unable to climb out of the hole that they dug themselves into. Fast forward to the fourth quarter. New England scores a touchdown at the start of the fourth quarter to give themselves a 20-10 lead. Got to be feeling pretty good, okay? But then what happens is Buffalo scores a touchdown to make it 2017. They put the pressure on. New England gets the ball back with 7 minutes 37 seconds remaining. And if you're New England, you're thinking, we need a nice drive where we score points and we kill the clock. Okay? But New England goes 3-and-out. So you're thinking, oh gosh, Buffalo's getting back in this. Buffalo goes 10 plays, 53 yards. They get the ball back with 5 minutes, 52 seconds remaining. They go 10 plays, 53 yards, and they're able to kick a field goal and tie this game. They kick that field goal with 2 minutes, 17 seconds remaining. So the Patriots get the ball with 2 minutes, 17 seconds remaining, and it's a tie ball game, okay? And Drake May has that moment that every NFL quarterback dreams of, the opportunity to have a go ahead to conduct a go-ahead drive that's going to allow your team to win the game. And Drake May is able to do just that. They drive all the way down, and they take 7 plays, 37 yards. They take 2 minutes, 2 seconds off the clock. The Patriots kicker, Borregales, kicks a 52-yard field goal. That's his career long in the NFL. His career long in college was 54. He kicks a 52-yard field goal to give the Patriots a lead with 15 seconds, but hold up. Don't count it over till it's over in the NFL, right? Um, you never count Josh Allen out, absolutely. But he's got no timeouts in 15 seconds. There is one snap, okay? He throws the ball to Joshua Palmer, but Joshua Palmer has to dive to make the catch, which forces Palmer to go down. And then they're unable to reset the ball. Time expires. The game's over. New England has defeated Buffalo. Okay. Nick, is the AFC East going to be a race? Okay. Has New England provided some competition? Okay. Or is this just a one-off fluke for Buffalo? Or is New England here to stay and compete for that AFC East title?
No, I think they definitely have a chance, and it's not just Drake May. Drake May has been playing pretty good and all game, especially in the fourth quarter and crunch time. You kind of just expect him to the pressure to get to him and for him to start making mistakes. But no, he was in sync the whole fourth quarter, making crazy throws like there aren't maybe 5 to 8 quarterbacks could do that. He wasn't phased at all what was in front of him. He was ready for the challenge, and it's Mike Vrabel as well. He's one of the better coaches in the NFL. New England has been rebuilding for a few years, and they're almost there. They are almost there. This is one game, but if they could do it again, and the next time they play Buffalo, if they sweep Buffalo this year, look out. They might just end up being a wild card team, but if they don't get that division this year, Drake May, I mean, he's going to be in this league for a long time. You got next year and the year after. It's going to be interesting for a long time.
Yeah, I think it was Buffalo's turnovers that really made this game close. I still have confidence that Buffalo's a great team, and I think they'll be able to cakewalk into the AFC East title. Personally,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen Buffalo have turnover problems like this since the middle of the 23 season because Josh Allen used to be the quarterback where it's like, okay, this guy's good at football and all, but he's a turnover machine. He has been really good at protecting the football since they changed offensive coordinators. This game, though, is it just a fluke? I don't know. If not, it could be a problem for Buffalo.
all right, it's time for segment 3, between the hashes. And between the hashes, I mean, if you guys know, those two middle markers in a football field are called the hashes. So between the hashes is where the ball is placed for the first play from the line of scrimmage. So it's just our way of showing that we're time to talk a serious football topic that it's slightly controversial, but it has an effect on the game that we know and love today. And it's no pun intended that for our inaugural podcast of More Than a Game, we are talking about overtime, because overtime is what we get whenever we end the 4 quarters of regulation. It is literally more than a game. So I find it quite fitting that our first topic for the More Than a Game podcast is overtime. So a brief rundown of the rule changes that led to the overtime we have today. In 1974, a sudden death overtime was introduced for regular season and preseason games lasting 15 minutes. So this is the famous idea that we knew for a long time. It was unfair, where if one team won a coin toss, they got the chance to drive down first, kick a field goal, and win the game. Um, the only thing that wasn't fair about that, of course, is that the team that got the ball first, it was determined by a coin toss. So the thing is, it's obviously not fair that that team won the toss, which was a lucky draw, and then got to go kick a field goal. In 2010, a modified sudden death rule was adopted for postseason games, preventing a first possession field goal from ending the game. That never took into effect. Never did a game in 2010 or 2011. Never did those postseason games go into overtime. That rule was never, although it was implemented, or although it was drafted, the rule was never implemented. In 2012, the modified sudden death rule, which was pretty good, was expanded to regular season and preseason games where a first possession touchdown could end the game. So that started in 2012, where if you won the toss, you had the chance to score a touchdown to win, but if you kicked a field goal, the other team had the chance to possess the ball. And that was the most common overtime rule for the longest time. In 2017, the regular season overtime period was reduced from 15 minutes to 10. And that just creates a sense of urgency from both teams. Once again, it allows them to crown a winner much faster over the course of the game. In 2021, overtime was eliminated from preseason games to enhance player safety. The preseason should probably be eliminated in general, but that's a topic for another day. In 2022, they created this rule for the postseason, following a controversial playoff game. Oh, I wonder what playoff game that was.
No idea.
It was the 2021 divisional round versus the Buffalo Bills against the Kansas City Chiefs, commonly called the 13 seconds game.
you're,
It
you're,
was supposed.
you're telling me it wasn't the 2018 AFC Championship?
Oh, got him, got him. Yeah,
Oh,
yep.
man.
Chiefs didn't complain after the 2018 AFC Championship where that happened, but the Buffalo Bills felt the need to complain to the National Football League and share that it's not fair for one team to win the toss and go score a touchdown. Nick and I beg to differ, and we'll discuss. But that rule was changed where, following a controversial playoff game, it guarantees both teams at least one possession in playoff overtime, even if the first team scores a touchdown. Fun fact, that rule was drafted, never implemented in the postseason in the years of 2022, 2023, or 2024. Actually, it might have happened against Tampa Bay and Washington, but I don't think so. Remember that Tampa Bay
Nah.
Washington game? Did that did that game go into overtime? It was like a field goal to win
It
it, I
went
think.
into overtime, yes.
We're both looking it up on our phones right now. Oh, it didn't go into overtime.
Yep, yep.
Washington, I believe, kicked a field goal as time expired.
That's right.
Yes, Washington kicked a field goal as time expired. Okay, so once again, that postseason change that the Bills petitioned for, it never went into effect. It was never implemented. Maybe because it never should have been implemented in the first place. But
Hmm.
now those rules have now taken effect, and they're having a big effect on the game we watched today. The NFL aligned the regular season overtime rules with the postseason, meaning both teams will now have a chance to possess the ball, even if the first team scores a touchdown. Sudden death takes place after both teams get one possession. So, um, the way we saw it in the postseason, which was never implemented, that is now the standard for overtime.
Hmm.
And Nick, do you have any idea why this is problematic?
Uh, did anybody watch the Cowboys Packers game? There you go. It just takes too much time, and especially since they reduced from 15 minutes to 10 minutes, and it's still at 10 minutes, and you allow both teams to have the football. Once it goes past two possessions, you're looking at a tie. And with this rule change, you're probably going to see 2 to 3 ties probably every year, unless they extend the time frame to 15 minutes. It's just, it's not good because, like I said, if you get a touchdown, the other team gets a touchdown, they respond. Oh, what's that? You got about 2 minutes of overtime left, and that's the end of the game. It's it's just not good for the NFL. Nobody likes a tie. Nobody.
So there's every possible situation, right? So if you, so we're going to go team A and team B, okay, just to help get them straight. If team A receives the ball and punts, team B is obviously just going to kick a field goal to win the game.
That's correct.
If team B or if team A scores a touchdown, team B honestly has no choice but to score a touchdown and probably go for two because you're going to give them the ball back to kick a field goal. So team B has to score a touchdown and go for two. Okay, that's dicey. Next up, let's say team A kicks a field goal. If team A kicks a field goal, team B can either kick a field goal and tie, but once again, you're going to give them the ball back to kick a field goal. So team B, just like the Rams on Thursday, team B needs to have the mindset that they're going to score a touchdown to win this game, and if they don't, they're going to lose it. If you don't have one of those two options, you're playing for the tie.
Every
Which once
time.
again, if you move the ball quick, if you move the ball quick, you can't necessarily play for that tie. Because if you kick that field goal with 2 minutes remaining, team A is going to get the ball back a second time, and team A is going to probably kick a field goal to win the game. Because let's be honest, defenses are gassed. With the NFL designed to score points, teams are going to be able to throw the ball at will in this overtime period. These are the problems with the 10-minute period. If you're going to allow both teams to possess, even if it's a touchdown. If there's no touchdown sealing victory, okay, these current rules, you need to move it to 15 minutes because you're creating this really weird stage where games are not ending the right way. Okay, the Rams did what they did what they were expected to with the cards they were dealt, but I mean that wasn't really the best course of action for them to try and win. They were obviously forced to have that sense of urgency and kick a field goal. Or you have what happened with Dallas and Green Bay, where the game ends in a tie because both teams possess the ball for roughly 5 minutes and all they do is get a field goal out of it. Okay, so it's not doing a great job of declaring winners. My honest opinion is if you're gonna have the touchdown doesn't seal the victory, so both teams possess the ball, you should move it to 15 minutes.
Or start somewhere else on the field. 50-yard line maybe. Speed up the game just a little bit. That's an option too.
Well, if you start from the 50, you automatically are going to kick a field goal
I mean,
because
that's true.
you're gonna on third down and 10, you're gonna complete a 6-yard pass to get you into field goal range. So starting from the 50 is a little bit too generous, but I mean, I do see where you're coming from. But should a game end in a tie? Yes or no? My honest answer, Nick, is no. Um, I think both teams would agree. I mean, both teams leave the field not ready for the game to end. You want to know why? Because a winner hasn't been declared. Okay? Fans show up, 80,000 fans pack these stadiums. They pay good money, and they deserve to watch a winner. The players prepare for this game. They deserve to have a winner. They deserve to have a loser. Having a tie game is almost worse than losing in a way because the outcome of the game is just sitting in suspense. The only advantage is that a tie beats a loss. That's the only advantage, but I'd rather risk winning the game and risk winning it and suffer losing than for the game to end in a tie.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's just kind of like, you're playing your heart out, and the moment it's over, it's like, oh, that was fun. Good game. That's really it. And that same for all the fans leaving too. It's like, well, I mean, they played football, but that's it. It's over. And it just sucks. It's a competitive game. Everybody leaves that stadium with the same mindset. Hey, that was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think that this there there's ways to determine a winner. That's all there is to it. Nick, what is your favorite format of all the ones we previously discussed?
Uh, Touchdown wins the game, without a doubt. And a lot of
Even though
people,
our Chiefs, even though our Chiefs have lost an AFC championship on it, we're willing to agree back in 2018 against the New England Patriots, we're willing to agree that that's the best way. Nick and I both agree that that is the best way to settle it in overtime.
absolutely. And people could say it's not fair, your team doesn't get the football. I get it, but it's a team sport. The game doesn't start in overtime, it starts in the first quarter. If you allow yourself to get into overtime, you need to play as a team and your defense has to step up. That's just how it is.
Right. Football is a team sport. When your team is on defense first, your defense is required to make a play. Okay? It's a team sport. There's three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. A lot of people forget that third one. But the two main phases are offense and defense. It's not all about offense, okay? If that team wins the toss, the offense is asked to make the play for Team A. Team B's defense has to make a play, and they don't have to make the team punt. Okay, the rules say only a touchdown ends the game. You simply have to force Team A to a field goal. That is it. Making them punt would obviously be a difficult story, which is why the old sudden death rules were difficult. But all you have to do is force them to a field goal. You don't even have to make them punt. You just got to force them to a field goal. Okay? You just have to, you cannot let them in the end zone. Okay? It's asking your defense to make a play. Football is a team sport. And if your defense makes the play, then your offense is going to have a chance to win the game. So if college reduces it to the offense, both teams get the ball at the 25-yard line, and you're not giving the defense enough field to work with to stop the team. So college, as you know, it's a dead sprint to that third overtime where both teams just start exchanging 2-point conversions. That's what college has come down to, okay? Where both teams just start doing 2-point conversions. But this rule the NFL had was perfect, okay? But one team had to complain about how their season didn't end the right way, and their season ended on it because their offense didn't get the chance to possess the football. I don't care. Ask your defense to make a play.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I agree completely. I agree completely. There's got to be a change. That's all I'm going to say. If everybody disagrees, well, talk to me next year when we watch more ties in prime time. It's going. It upsets a lot of people. It upsets me. Talk to me then. That's all I got to
This is
say.
the first. This is going to be the first topic of discussion at NFL owners' meetings. I can already tell.
And the tush push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also are going to determine how we think we should break a tie. Here's my idea for how to break a tie. It's pretty simple. It's already been implemented in college, which, as we know, is the minor league of the National Football League. The way they're combining both games to be basically the same thing. In college, once you hit that third overtime, both teams just take turns with what's called 2-point conversions. But it's basically like tennis, okay? Um, I say after that 10-minute period, each team just takes a turn from the 3-yard line. They take turns from the 3-yard line, and they just see who can keep getting in. And it's like penalty kicks ultimately. It's the football equivalent of penalty kicks. You get the ball on the 3-yard line, and if you score, and whoever the first team to fail, the first team to not score, obviously, is going to lose the game. It's pretty self-explanatory. Penalty kicks, it's the NFL's version of penalty kicks, and I think that's the best way to determine a victor after this 10-minute period expires in a tie.
I agree with you completely. And the NFL doesn't want to do a second overtime, especially in the regular season, because it's football. They already play 17 games. You don't want them to play more football than they have to, which I agree. I get it. This makes the most sense, and it's the quickest way to end this game. Hey, moment it doesn't work. All right, like you said, it's tennis. Game over. At least you have a victor. and you're not working him to death. I don't know if I would still prefer 15 minutes over 10, and if it's 10, I would maybe prefer a second overtime before that. But if for whatever reason you hit a third overtime, that's probably what's got to happen. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's obvious that you can't go into a new overtime. Okay, it's fit 4 quarters of regulation, 10 minutes of overtime. Okay, like you're gonna have to do some really, now I'm not gonna say outrageous, but um, outlandish stuff to try and determine a champion.
yeah, I agree.
All right. So we we obviously agree that a tie should never happen, and it's great that we also understand that um, the best way was, they had it right, which is touchdown first ends the game, field goal first allows the other team to possess the ball. So um, we both agree on that, and um, how to break a tie is to do these penalty kicks where both teams possess the ball from the 3 yard line, take turns scoring. So I could talk about this for hours on end, but it's time to move on to our next segment, which is simply a Saturday slate. Okay, it's a review of college football because we all know there is a minor league to the NFL. It's called NCAA Football Division One. All jokes aside, um, we understand the importance of college football and the legacies behind it and the stories and the tradition. And so we want to have a brief segment of college football on every podcast just to share where the game is in the present moment. So, 4 big matchups were that Miami defeated Florida State 28-22. Malachi Tony, a big freshman wide receiver, scored 2 touchdowns. Carson Beck keeps doing his thing. He's looking good in that orange and green for Miami. Alabama beat Vanderbilt. They avenged the embarrassing defeat from last year. Diego Pavia is silenced. He's talking trash before the game. Alabama beats them 30-14 by 2 scores. Next up, Florida upsets Texas. Florida was 1-3. Texas was 3-1. Florida beats them 29-21. We all know Gainesville, Florida. The stadium, the swamp, is a hard place to play, and Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns couldn't make it out of the swamp alive. Penn State suffers their second straight loss. They were upset by UCLA. And the offensive play caller for UCLA, his name is escaping me, but the offensive play caller was carried off the field at the end, and UCLA defeats Penn State, number 7 ranked Penn State, 42-37. That was UCLA's first victory of the season. Obviously, an embarrassing loss for Penn State. Their season isn't over. They can still um, crawl back into it, but it's not looking good for them right now. These are the 4 games that we discussed. An update to the college football playoff rankings. Ohio State's at number 1. Miami's number 2. Miami could very easily be number 1. Either way, you just want one of those top 4 spots for the first round bye. Ole Miss leading the SEC at number 4. Oregon is number 3. Texas Tech is undefeated, ranked number 9 at 5-0. Indiana's also undefeated, but they haven't played anybody. Rounding it out, we have Georgia, LSU, and Tennessee at spots 10, 11, and 12. Missouri wants to make a statement at 14, and Notre Dame's creeping back in at spot 16. Crazy enough, Penn State and Texas were the number 1 and number 2 on the preseason polls. Texas was number 1, Penn State was number 2. Both those teams are out of the top 25. It shows why you play the games, okay? And now we're going to look ahead to 4 big matchups for this upcoming Saturday. Just give me a moment. Ohio State is facing Illinois. Ohio State is facing 17 ranked Illinois. That kickoff is at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. It's the big noon kickoff on Fox. Alabama, number 8 Alabama, is playing 14 ranked Missouri. That is another noon kickoff. That game will be on ABC. Indiana is playing Oregon. And that's the 7th ranked Indiana versus the 3rd ranked Oregon. And finally, we got the Red River Showdown. Oklahoma is playing Texas. Will Texas make a big statement win by knocking off Oklahoma, or will Oklahoma continue their dominance? I personally believe Oklahoma will continue that dominance. As for Indiana and Oregon, I like Oregon. They're playing well. Indiana always starts off undefeated until they play some tough competition. As for Alabama and Missouri, Missouri's going to have a big chance to prove themselves, but I still don't think they have the horses to compete with the Crimson Tide. As for Ohio State and Illinois, I got to go with the Buckeyes. Defending national champions, the Illinois Fighting Illini have not shown me anything to think that they would upset Ohio State. That was our brief review of the college game. Next up, we have our playbook and scouting report. Um, Actually, no,
That's a
that's
lie.
not next. Sorry, segment 5. The script, it was just a little tough to read. The spacing was tough. Segment 5 is your best bets. That's where Nick and I will take turns covering our bets that we like for the NFL this weekend. We're using FanDuel Sportsbook as our reference. All right, Nick, who do you got to cover the spread?
Right, to cover the spread, I have the LA Rams covering the spread against the Baltimore Ravens. It just makes the most sense. The Ravens are, because it's 7.5 points, the Ravens defense is obviously just, they're horrible. They are horrible and everybody knows it. You know it's bad when the Houston Texans put up 44 points, so I like the Rams to cover their 7.5 points.
Good to go there. I like divisional games are always rough. We got Thursday night football, Eagles and Giants. Give me the Giants to cover the spread. They're 8-point underdogs. Um, I say this game is less than 7 points. It's at MetLife Stadium, so give me the Giants to cover that spread. Jackson Dart, underdog. All right, next up, Nick, is the total. Which total do you like this week?
Um, Total, I like Denver. I like Denver as 7 point favorites against the New York Jets. I think that's as obvious as daylight as far as a total. The Jets are own 5. They still have to prove themselves, and it could be closer than I think, but I just don't think it happens right now. Denver's hot. They're coming off of that win against Philly, and it's not happening this week. Sorry. I'll take I'll take Denver. It's
So my total is between the Washington Commanders and Chicago Bears Monday Night Football. The rematch of the Hail Mary, which the media made a really big deal out of, and which blamed that this was the reason why the Bears had an under 500 season. It was all because of this one loss, but that's not true. You got to be able to come back from that sad game. But the media has been hyping up this Hail Mary rematch, which is why it's on Monday Night Football. Give me the over. I believe that the Bears and Commanders will combine for more than 50 points. Um, Primetime game. These Monday Night Football games have been very high scoring. So give me the over 50 points between the Bears and Commanders. All right. Next up
I
is
like
player
it.
prop.
All right, I got Tua Tagovailoa going over 221 passing yards against the Los Angeles Chargers. And a lot of it's just a prove it. I'm not saying the Dolphins are winning this game by any means. I don't think so, but Tyreek Hill, he's out for the year. A lot of people look at the Dolphins as a, hey, you're down there with the Jets. Maybe not quite as bad, but you're in the bottom of the pit. You're just not going to be good. You might have a top 5 draft pick next year. Tua, this might be it. It's like, hey, if things don't go well, they might move on as far as head coach and quarterback next year. Tua's going to have a good game. The Chargers, they've lost 2 in a row. Jackson Dart, I mean, I don't know how I feel about him yet. Didn't have the best game, but he threw against the Chargers pretty well. So I think Tua's going to have a pretty good game. So give me over 221 yards.
Yeah, I think I think the Dolphins can play with any team. They're so flippy floppy, no pun intended, with the Dolphins, right? Um, I like to think they'll give a good game to the Los Angeles Chargers. Let's go. For me, I've got Cortland Sutton 62 yards or more. So the over for Cortland Sutton, I have him getting 62 yards. He's obviously Bo Nick's favorite target. He always tears the Chiefs apart. Um, I don't think he's any match for Sauce Gardner. I think Cortland Sutton will be too much sauce for the Gardner.
I like it.
All right, and that concludes the your best bets section. Next up, we have the scouting report. Okay, first up, we got Eagles Giants.
Those Giants. You want to go first or what?
I got it. I got it.
You got it.
Um, Eagles are a great team. And I don't think the Giants are good enough to knock them off. Like I said, covering the spread, not the same as winning outright. Um, Give me the Eagles, and let's say 2 touchdowns. I'll say Eagles 20-13.
I like it. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Really, it's been close all year, even though they're 4-1, even against the Cowboys. But Malik Neighbors being out, that's all the difference in the world. Give me Philly in a 17-13 victory, low scoring.
Yeah, I mean, we're united on that. All right, next up we got Seahawks Jaguars. So the team that just beat our team, the Jaguars, are going against the Seahawks. Um, this is going to be a tough one, I'll be honest. The game is in Jacksonville. That's a hard place to play. Just ask our Kansas City Chiefs. Um, and You want to go first for this one, Nick?
Yeah, the Seahawks, they're hot, and a lot of people are looking at them as contenders, and I completely agree. They're awesome on both sides of the football, and the Jaguars. Look, I haven't been the biggest Jaguars or Trevor Lawrence believer, and I respect him for the way he played the Chiefs last week, but I'm sorry. Fluke game. Give me the Seahawks 27-20.
Um, I actually like Jacksonville. I mean, I'm gonna let the Chiefs' victory carry the weight because the I know there were the luck of the pick six, but hey, like they worked hard to win that football game, and I believe they're good enough to beat Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not saying Jacksonville's gonna go to the AFC Championship game, but I think they're good enough to win this game. And give me the Jacksonville Jaguars 27-24. All right, up next we got Rams Ravens.
Lamar Jackson coming back? That's the question.
Let's see.
He has missed practice all week, so looks like he's doubtful. I'm going to go ahead and say right now it looks like Lamar Jackson's not playing, so yeah, I'm going to take the Rams big time. 29 to give me 14.
Give me the Rams. Yeah, it's with no Lamar Jackson. I mean, the Ravens can't even compete. So, give me 30 to 10. 30 to 10 Rams without Lamar Jackson, which is all we can operate on now because he hasn't practiced all week. All right, next up we have 49ers Buccaneers.
Good game.
Yeah, I like Tampa too much. I like Tampa too much. I love Baker Mayfield, plays with that chip on his shoulder. I super love Emeka Egbuka. I thought he was the best wide receiver in the draft. The fact that he fell to Tampa is honestly not fair. An Ohio State Buckeye, those Buckeye wide receivers, they know how to play in the NFL. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. I love Emeka Egbuka. So like I said, he was my favorite wide receiver. I'm really big on Tampa. Um, and I have no reason to think why Mac Jones can beat Baker Mayfield. Um, and I don't think the game's going to be high scoring. I don't think the 49ers have the horses to. Tampa can score a lot, but only when forced to. Give me Tampa 28-24. Tampa over San Francisco.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game. It's two quarterbacks I like a lot, and the Buccaneers, they've been playing close all year. Like you said, they'll score when they have to, and they're finding ways to win. And The 49ers, I'm not sure if they're getting George Kittle back this week or not, but they're rolling, man. They're rolling, and I actually think this game goes into overtime. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they know how to win, so they will win in overtime 26-20.
In overtime,
And
are they
overtime.
are they gonna are they gonna score a touchdown first? Well, I mean, are they gonna score a touchdown then play defense, or are they gonna hold them to no points then score a touchdown?
Nah, they're going to get a touchdown, and the defense is going to hold them. So Baker Mayfield gets into overtime. They're going to get the football first. When he's playing and he's wild up, dude's just crazy. Such a loud mouth, and he loves the game, and he's going to run in for an 8-yard touchdown. And Mac Jones, he's been so good all year, but he won't do it this time. The San Francisco 49ers go 3 and out, or 4 and out, I should say, and they lose in overtime in a close one.
Okay, next up we got Sunday Night Football, Lions against the Kansas City Chiefs.
You want to go
I'm
first? Or
Yeah, I'll go first.
you're not going to like my answer.
Oh, you're going Lions? Okay, I'll go Chiefs then. Um, I wanna say that um, the the Chiefs won't allow themselves to go 2-4. It's never happened in the Mahomes era. Um, and it's a primetime game. Chiefs are going to be ready to play. And we all knew just 3-3 until Rashee Rice comes back, and they have a nasty taste in their mouth from what happened at Jacksonville. And I think this is a get right game for the Chiefs. They haven't forgot about that opening night game in 2023. The Chiefs have not forgot about it. So um, give me the Chiefs 24-19.
You're
Actually, I
right,
take
Mahomes.
that back. Give me the Chiefs 24-20. 24-20.
Okay. I don't know. You're right. Mahomes has never gone 2 and 4, but lately, all these records are going down the drain. 5-0 against Jacksonville, gone. Mahomes never losing 3 games in a row, gone. And the Super Bowl, Mahomes never losing in a dome, gone. I mean, all these impressive little streaks, you should say, or bragging rights, they're gone. And I think it continues. The Kansas City Chiefs will be fired up. They do remember that game. It'll be close. But the Detroit Lions, they're too hard to stop on offense for sure. They're so well rounded. Running game, the passing game, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, who's gonna stop him? The dude plays outside, and Trent McDuffie's an inside cornerback. And yeah, I actually like the Detroit Lions. Same score as 2 years ago, 21-20.
All right. We'll go quickly here because we're running out of time. Bills Falcons, Monday Night Football. Buffalo doesn't lose 2 games in a row, uh, especially to the Atlanta Falcons. Still trying to struggle to find their identity with Michael Penix. So, give me Buffalo. Let's just say 21-13. Buffalo.
Yeah, I like Buffalo big time actually. And yep, they're not going to lose 2 in a row. And when they find a rhythm, they're actually very hard to stop. They just seem to always put up a stupid amount of points in the regular season. And that's what happens this week. They give me Buffalo 38-13.
All right, Bears Commanders. I picked the over on this one, so I got to think of a score. I think the Commanders are a better team than the Bears, but I think the Bears are going to be they're going to be inspired to make it a great game. Give me Commanders 27, Bears 23.
Yeah, Commanders will have the lead for most of the game, and they'll be up 4 points with 13 seconds left or so. Caleb Williams is going to try Hail Mary. He's going to try to get him back, and nope, doesn't happen this time. Sorry. Commanders win. Give me 26-22. A little bit of an odd score there, but I'm going to go with it.
What is it going to be like? One touchdown with five field goals to get 22 points? Or
Yeah,
maybe they'll miss an extra point somewhere. I mean, it happens a lot in the NFL
it
today.
happens a lot. And the Bears are just, they're one of those teams where they always score such small margins of points, whether it's field goals, and it's just, you're going to have an odd score like that sometimes. I like it this week.
Yeah. All right, Nick, I don't know if you saw my message in the chat, but I'm going to call an audible here. Due to time constraints, we're going to skip chief concerns, and we'll find another time to chat about that. And we're going to move on to the final segment, which is more than a game.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Um, so the final segment, more than a game, is just where we want to share what makes us different as a podcast, and we want to show how football has had an effect, not necessarily on our everyday lives, but the everyday lives of some of the people in this great nation and internationally. So our first topic for more than a game is the growth of the game internationally. We all know the game to be called American football, but want to we don't want it to be exclusive only to America. We want to share this game we love with other countries and help show them why it's so exciting to watch and so exciting to play. So Nick is going to share a little bit about the growth of the NFL internationally and where each international game is played and when it started.
Yeah, so the very first international game in the NFL was in Mexico City, October 2nd, 2005. The Arizona Cardinals defeated the San Francisco 49ers with a final score of 31 to 14. Then 2 years later, the NFL introduced their first London game. October 28th, 2007, at Wembley Stadium, the New York Giants defeat the Miami Dolphins in a low-scoring 13 to 10 game. And shortly after that, that's when, I believe it was 2012, Roger Goodell started having the London games become more of a yearly basis, and it really started to kick off around 2015. We haven't missed a year one time since. And then the first Germany game was November 13th, 2022. The Buccaneers defeated the Seattle Seahawks 21 to 16. There's been 3 games in Germany since. Then last year, the night after the season opener kickoff, Friday night, the first ever Brazil game, September 6th, the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Green Bay Packers 34 to 29. And we have continued that tradition this year with the Chargers Chiefs game, and it's probably going to become a regular thing. And then just 2 weeks ago, we had our first Ireland game on September 28th, where the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Minnesota Vikings 24 to 21. And yeah, that's it so far, but it is going to grow for sure. And I have heard rumors that Roger Goodell wants 16 teams to host an international game every year at some point, and that's something we'll definitely dive into next week because I have things I want to get into about that. But it's just showing how much the game is growing, and there's some documentaries I've seen where there's fans in all types of countries. They'll be up at 3 a.m. to watch their favorite team play, whether it's 10 a.m. for you or noon for me. Just, man, that they love football, and it's becoming such a world sport. And I don't know. If I had to say right now, it wouldn't surprise me within the next 15 years if there was a Super Bowl hosted outside of the United States. And it just shows how big this game is to the whole world.
Yeah, I mean, just like every other Olympic sport, we're going to have flag football in the Olympics. We just want to share this game that we know and love with the rest of the people, and share our American ideas, American exceptionalism, share why America is so great, and we want to share these wonderful ideas with everyone else. And football is one of them. So football is one of the newest ideas that we want to share with the rest of the world. My topic about the growth of the game internationally, I chose to do the Polynesian history of the game of football. So, um, my wife and I went on our honeymoon in July of 2024 to Hawaii, and I visited the Polynesian Football Hall of Fame. That's where I was introduced to this idea. After doing some research, I discovered that early in the 20th century, Mormon missionaries settled on the north shore of the island Oahu, in Hawaii, and they intentionally dedicated themselves to the farming of the sugar cane, and they worked with the natives of the island and introduced them to this game of football, all while cultivating the sugarcane farm. And over the course of time, the sugarcane started to become less and less prevalent within Hawaii, but that allowed for the growth of the game of football within the young men. Young men started investing more and more in the game of football as an opportunity to provide yourself with a scholarship, to be able to pay for the college education. When asked about investing in the game of football, the natives of Hawaii, the North Shore, they asked, "Well, can you eat a football?" And the answer was obviously no, but you can you can eat the benefits from this college education. And slowly but surely, migrants from the island of Tonga and Samoa, as well as the natives of the North Shore of Hawaii, started creating this strong football program, this high school football program. It's Kahuku High School, and ever since 1999, that program has played in 12 of Hawaii's 19 state championship games, winning 8 times. And it's interesting how, the native Hawaiian, the Hawaiian natives, they obviously they have a warrior mentality to them. And in the year 2025, they've taken this warrior mentality and translated it to the game of football. So
Mm-hmm.
it's obviously growing in Polynesia. There's a very prestigious award, the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year. There were 81 candidates for this from Division One colleges that were football players. There were 81 candidates, um, and there are plenty of Division One football players in Polynesian football. Most commonly, it's in the West Coast schools because it's the closest commute. Um, and there are in the 2024 NFL Draft, 5.1% of the players had Polynesian descent, and some famous Polynesian football players that played in the NFL were Haloti Ngata, Troy Polamalu. Some players who are currently in the game are Ronnie Stanley, Panay Sewell. Marcus Mariota is a backup quarterback. We all know him from his Heisman Trophy days at Oregon. Tua Tagovailoa played for Alabama, and now he obviously plays for the Miami Dolphins. So, it's amazing how it's more than a game to these people. They've brought it into their way of life, and like I said, their culture. So they've taken that warrior mentality and applied it to the game of football. And this is just one of many ways that football is more than
More
a
than
game.
a game.
I'm Brock Jamieson, and this is my co host, Nick Pullen. Tune in next week as we break down the interconference schedule. Big word here, don't sweat it. I'm simply referring to each NFL team's opponents from the opposite conference. We will break it down division by division to share you what exactly it is we're talking about. Trust me, you know what we're talking about, it's just hard to explain in words. Finally, Finally, we will share the method to scheduling that pesky 17th game. Trust me, there is a method to the madness. We'll see you next Wednesday. Good luck this weekend and a happy viewing experience as you cheer on your favorite teams for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.